Welcome to the Super Fantastic Leadership Webishow right here on Daphne Tube. We continue with Dr. Jerry Wagner and talk about how to really determine our type. We're going to hear everything he has to say about taking surveys and what we should look out for as we take them. Yeah, in your test, we'll talk about let's talk about it now. Why wait? Or on Enneagram testing and specifically, so if people are wanting to type themselves, they can, obviously you can get on the internet and there are a myriad of tests. Yeah. Your test in particular is one that's been validated. So talk a little bit about personality tests and then validation. What does that mean? Okay. Why should we even be concerned with that?
Yeah. Usually there are like three things to look for. So what's the reliability of the test? Meaning if you take it now and then you take it a month from now or a year from now, will the results be fairly consistent? Or do the items that are supposed to be measuring the different styles, so I've got like 22 questions to go with each of the types, do those questions kind of hang together? Do they go with each other, or do you find out, well, one of these questions actually correlates better with another type? So then you either have to move it over to that scale or throw it out, put another one in. So the reliability piece is how stable is the instrument? Whether it hits the target would be more the validity. It's the predictive, does it measure what it's supposed to measure? The example that I've found helpful is like if you want to hit a target and your arrow is made out of rubber, you never know whether it's going to, what's going to happen when you shoot it. So you can't have any good validity unless the reliability is pretty good. So the reliability of my test is in the 0.8 or so, which is not bad for a personality test. And the validity, which is predictive, so it doesn't actually measure what it's supposed to measure. It's right 8 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times, it's about 90% accurate. If you take the top 3 scores, then it's about 95% accurate.
Okay.
Yeah. If you take all 9 scores, it's 100% accurate. It's
You're all 9 types.
Yeah. Or your type is bound to be one of them.
That's great. Well, when we talk about typing, then, if I already obviously know my type, I'm a big fan of the Enneagram, but, for a person who doesn't know their type, they just log on, they take one of these tests, should they just rely on the results of that test, or
only if it's my test?
Oh. Right.
I wouldn't, no. I think it's just a part of data. So here's what the test thinks you are. Who do you think you are, based on maybe reading some stuff about your type and about the Enneagram? Who do other people say you are? It sounds like Jesus in the New Testament, who do people say I am? Who do people who know you well and who know the Enneagram, what type do they think you are? Or if you have a chance to go to an expert like yourself, and they could do a typing interview, so who does some person who really knows the Enneagram well, who do they assess, what type do they assess you to be? If you've got a correlation or agreement between what a test says, what you say, what somebody who knows you well says, what an expert says, that's kind of the gold standard.
Great.
It's nice.
So while taking a survey is a good idea, it isn't the only thing we should be using to help us discover our type. One of the difficult parts of any self-report questionnaire that relies on self-awareness is that if we aren't that self-aware about certain aspects of ourselves, we won't be able to report on them that easily. There's also a really well-known thing called the social desirability bias. So self-report questionnaires are a great jumping off point, but nonetheless, getting feedback from others is always helpful. Stay tuned for next week when we continue our conversation with Dr. Jerry Wagner, and until then, keep leading a super fantastic leadership life. Hey, if you like what you just watched, you can go ahead and subscribe below, because then it's not so much effort, right? You're not going to be Google searching me or looking for me on YouTube. The content's just going to come right into your channel. It's going to say, hey, there's a new video from Daphne Scott. Actually, it'll say DS Leadership Live, but nevertheless, it's going to tell you that there's a new video available. And maybe you also like to read. If that's the case, give us a follow on Facebook at DS Leadership Life for more amazing content. Nevertheless, you can stay tuned here right on my YouTube channel for weekly videos and more of my amazing sense of humor. See you soon.